Just one.
You getting what you need?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, good for you.
I was really fortunate. They had the coaches meeting at 11. So
You get a good workout in it every year in this event.
Well, if you get Tori to come on, I'll be the last one for me, but Kennedy was the only one that wasn't here.
Is old Tappan going to come? Is Brian going to come?
Brian's not coming. Brenda Gregory was here with some of the kids in it.
Oh, old Tappan? So the assistant. So I'll call Brian separately.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to MetLife Stadium. Welcome to Super Football Conference Media Day live on NorthJersey.com. My name is Darren Cooper, joined by my illustrious colleagues, Mr. Greg Tartaglia and the one and only Greg Matura. Guys, how are you doing today?
We're fine, yeah.
Not too bad. This is my Super Bowl here every year. So many teams, so many players, so many interviews.
I was told this was the Greg mic, so we're going to have to share.
So if you're not familiar with I'm Darren Cooper, by the way. Our format for this, we just grab some teams as they're walking in, walking out, talk to them about the upcoming season, what they got going on, who they got coming back. You never know who you might see. But Greg, I'll start with Mr. Matura. Your biggest thoughts coming into the 2024 North Jersey high school football season? What's the biggest storyline you see?
Well, my thoughts are, after talking to several coaches, that Bergen Catholic really has a lot of skill coming back, a lot of experience at the skill positions. And you know, it's going to be tough to take them down, although there's going to be a lot of schools out there trying to do it in New Jersey for sure.
All right, Mr. Tartaglia, what's the biggest storyline in your mind going into Media Day?
Well, I've been seeing a lot of the public schools. We already talked to Northern Highlands, so a little tease for that coming up. They're off to a pretty good, expecting them to get off to a pretty good start. I just get a sense of, it's that sense of hope, when you're here.
Totally.
In fact, one of the nice things about being here is I get to see a lot of coaches that I don't get to see during the season because we simply can't get to everybody. There's just too many games. So it's kind of nice to catch up with guys, you maybe haven't seen in a while, and hear some good stories.
Hope, spoken like a true Jets fan, Mr. Tartaglia.
We are here. They are hosting the whole thing.
They are here, yes. Super Football Conference Media Day, sponsored by the Jets. You're watching live on NorthJersey.com. I'm Darren Cooper. Now we're going to throw to an interview we did earlier today with the guys from Hackensack. Welcome back to Super Football Conference Media Day on NorthJersey.com. Darren Cooper now joined by the guys protecting the H. Yeah. Hackensack High School. Coach Wrestler, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great, Coop. Another day, another
Good.
dollar.
All right, let's start. Introduce these fellas behind me. Introduce these Comets here.
Behind me, we got running back, linebacker Dylan Thornton. Right in between, center, Nick Augustin, and defensive back, wide receiver, Giovanni Moore.
Giovanni, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Giovanni, tell me about just what you've learned about your team this summer and off season.
We've learned to work with the guys, and we've just been working out as a team, going over everything as a team, and we're going to play as a team.
What is the biggest change you think from last year to this year that'll push y'all to winning playoff games?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest change?
Well, something's got to change, man. We don't want to keep losing playoff games, right?
Yeah. We change up. We're going to change up the offense, the defense. It's just minor changes, but the same goal is to win. So,
Coach, what have you seen from this group so far?
Hard work, dedication.
Yeah.
I think one of these guys actually had it on. I had it in this morning. We had a March Madness theme, so we did a lot of 6 a.m. workouts in the off season, just
6
testing.
a.m.
Yeah, a little madness time, right? But preaching effort, attitude, and toughness. Getting out of bed, staying disciplined. Getting your butts into the gym. And
was that really new though? 6 a.m. Was that a new? Really?
Yeah. And it worked out good with the schedules because winter season was winding down, spring season wasn't really ramping up. So we had a lot of our tweeners because, like you had mentioned, we have a very good relationship with our highly successful track program. Where we could have that in between where guys could go from one season to the next and get some work and still think about off-season training with their teammates on the football team.
All right, Mr. Thornton, are we ready to run the rock?
Oh, yeah, of course.
How much we've had running back after running back the last couple of years. What have you learned from watching?
Honestly, what I've learned is that you got to stay patient and you got to making moves and finding gaps, really.
You said something interesting to me when we were talking a couple weeks ago about I think we preach kind of a different brand of football than everybody else. What is that? Physicalness? Just like we pride ourselves on being physical first?
I don't want to have your camera guys work too hard to edit it out, but it goes back to the establishment of Hackensack football, with Coach Delatorre, right?
Sure.
And then it carries on with Coach Calise and Coach DeFalco, and then ultimately Coach Toll, right? It's tough guy football. It's smash mouth football. We've really always been our roots. If you look at the records that have been put on the walls at Hackensack, everything comes down to in your face, run the football, play a fast, aggressive defense.
All right, tell me about this guy right here.
What do you want to know about Nicky Gustin? He's one of the.
Oh, you're in the middle.
Yeah.
So you like mixing it up? You like getting physical?
Yeah, I do. I think that helps because the way we play football, the way how we run the ball and stuff like that, we get to be physical with the guys in front of us, and that's one of the most exciting things about the sport, how physical you can be.
Guys going both ways? A lot of guys going both ways, or no?
We'll find that out during training camp.
Really?
Right, the best 11 on 11. The best 11 got to play. Wherever they are. So we'll find roles for guys. We try and find ways to create depth, whether it be on the offense side, defensive side, and special teams.
You also said you feel like we have a team that has some game breakers and some speed. Is that different than the last year? Or two?
I mean, listen, it's not that we didn't have it. It's just sometimes you got to create your own breaks.
Okay.
If you look at Aiden Jones last year, he creates his own breaks at times. Won some big games for us. If you look at year before that, Curtis Whiting, made breaks. Before that, Tymere Robinson made breaks. So we just need to create more of those. We need to get more on special teams. We need to get more on defense. And we'll know we're going to have a big runner too, but let's get more.
Brett, of all the coaches here in this room, I don't think anybody has as much pride in this program as their program as you do in yours.
I mean, there's not many. There's some Hackensack alumni there, coaches in this room, a little bit. But at the end of the day, that's one of the best parts about coaching on First and Beach. I played there, I went through there, I grew up there. We had this conversation when I first was hired, it's home, and that is no place I'd rather be.
Does that really resonate, though? Do y'all know, he is a Hackensack guy to his core? Does he connect to y'all that way? Does it work, in other words? Do y'all buy it?
When he gives his speeches, sometimes we all get a little goosebumps, you know what I'm saying? And now he preaches it every day, and just Hackensack pride,
How close are we? How close are we, Brett? How close are we?
1-0 every day, every week, Coach. At 1-0 every week. That's all that matters right now. One game at a time, one play at a time, one drive at a time. We do that, you put a string together, we'll be all right.
Family good?
Family's great. Pops is overseas. So,
is he really?
Yeah, he's in Europe. So
Lucky Darren.
Spending the inheritance, what can I say?
All right. Hackensack, thank you so much. Good to see you, Brett.
Yep.
I'm Darren Cooper. This is Hackensack. You're watching Super Football Conference Media Day on NorthJersey.com.
And we are back, and we are here with the Rams of Ramsey High School with Coach Adam Baera and three of the Rams. Adam, can you introduce your three players here, please?
Sure. To my right is Chase Reed. Behind me is David Larson, and to the left is Noah Magnus.
Okay, excellent. So let's get down right to it. You're starting your season off with the program, what I believe is the program's first plane flight to play a game. You're going down to Florida. Can you talk about that and why you chose to play your first game on the road a long, long way from home?
Ironically, I was just down there last week, and it's a little warm down there, but the sun doesn't really do a good job of hiding. But it's just an experience that I made a promise to these kids a couple years ago that we're going to travel and we're going to do these things, and I figured this is the time to do it. And hopefully we get out of there with a win and come back home and keep it going. So. And
we're going to stick with this. If you want to hand it over to Chase. Chase, your thoughts on a long plane flight? And I understand we have some parents going down there. Can you talk about that and the whole experience of going to the Sunshine State?
Yeah, all of our parents are going down with us. But I'm really excited to go down because I've never played a football game in Florida, obviously. And I think it's going to be a good experience for us and the other kids on the team because we're going to try to travel all the other years after. So I think the entire team's going to enjoy it really well.
All right, and we'll move over to David. 4 days, 3 nights is my understanding. What kind of expectations do you have both on the field and off the field while you're down there?
Well, I think it should be a pretty good trip, trying something new. So I think we should be able to step up, try and get a win down there. It should be fun.
And now we'll step over to Noah on my left here. Same question over to you. What are your thoughts going down there, playing Palm Beach Christian, correct? Is that the name of the Palm Beach Prep, excuse me. What are your expectations? Have you seen any film with them?
Yeah, we've seen film of them, and we've been looking at them for a while because when you know that first game's coming up, you try and prepare for them. And we're just really looking forward to it because it's a chance to show Florida what New Jersey football is. It's going to be a test for us because of how hot it is, but that's only going to help us later in the year. And then it's a great experience for us to team bond because that chemistry will really help us on the field.
All right, Adam, back to you now. Tell us a little bit about your team. Is it a veteran team? Is it a young team? Where are the strengths, and what do you need to work on?
I think it's somewhere in the middle. Had a lot of sophomores coming back from last year's team. I believe 8 of them. And, that's a big difference from last year to this year's team. There's a lot of experience back. There's a lot of guys who played some 2 ways. And, we're just looking to get better every day. They're really doing a great job of gelling. And, the biggest thing I see is they police themselves, which is nice. Everyone's held accountable. The captains are doing a great job. These guys, especially behind me, Andrew McDade's another one, and Christian Fojan. And they just do a great job making sure no one slides. Everyone's in practice. They've had captain's practices. I mean, they're doing things on their own that I haven't seen since my first year here. So it's exciting to see, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do.
And is there anything else that's different here as you start your 5th season leading Rams? Anything unique about this year's team?
There's again, they're just the kids that just love football. You can tell that they love football. I tell them all the time, you're either a football player or a kid who plays football. And they're certainly football players, and again, they're just a great group of kids, and I'm having a blast so far. So it's been a great summer.
And again, under 500, which was rare last year. After a very successful first 3 seasons, you're still 25-11 over 4 seasons. What do you need to do better this year on both sides of the ball, or all 3 areas of the game, to get back over 500?
We need to finish games. Last year we had a couple battles. We were in the games, 3rd, 4th quarter, and it started to unravel based off the lack of experience. So hopefully, coming into this season, these guys can, they know what it's like. They know what it's like to be in a 4-quarter game, and certainly, last year, unfortunately, we knew, what it was to fall short. So hopefully, that's a motivation going into this year to finish. We want to finish and make this season a great one. So.
Okay, if you want to hand it over to Chase. Last round of questioning, and that is Adam has talked about things that have been better than last summer, better so far. What do you see that's been different? What do you see that's been improved, let's say, from this time last year?
The energy the group of kids bring this year is just completely different than last year. We're all the kids are excited to play, excited to put pads on, and I think we just want to hit. We just want to, once we put the pads on and hit, that's when it gets real.
Okay, David, same question to you. What's been different this summer leading into your season compared to last year?
Well, what Chase was saying, our chemistry is way better than last year. We're just like a giant group of friends pretty much that play football together, and we just play for each other instead of just going out there and being alone out there. So it's pretty different from last year.
Okay, and then a little loaded question over here since you're a 2-way lineman, yes? Yeah. Ramsey has done very well at moving the ball over the last several years and scoring points. Talk about that, and then also the defense has given up a few too many points. What's better, if at all, about the offense? What's better, if at all, about the defense heading into the season?
So this year we've been focusing with the team bonding. It also helps with the game because we all want each other to do what's best for the team, and we're all being on each other, just telling each other what to do and getting the little things right for the O-line to move the ball down the field, get those steps right and everything so that we can move the player in front of us. And on the D-line, it's the same thing. We just want to hold our gaps, and we're holding each other accountable on that.
All right, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, I want to thank the Rams of Ramsey and Coach Adam Baera. Thanks so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rams.
Is that okay?
Greetings from Super Football Conference Media Day. The Aces are here, and we are talking with one of our first interviews of the day is actually a brand new coach. So it's a good way to get started. This is Dan Morangi. You may recognize him. He's not a new coach, new to Indian Hills, but where did you come from?
I came from Don Bosco Prep and St. Joe's previously.
Well, you graduated Bosco.
I graduated Bosco,
and
coached there for 17 years, and then I was at St. Joe's for the last 6.
So before we get to interviewing, one of the nice things the Jets are doing this year, they're putting up the names of all the captains. So we can introduce Jonathan Dela Cruz, who's over here, number 4. Brendan Pellinero is over here, number 58. And Luke Fest is right behind me, number 5. So this is Indian Hills, and this is public school football now for you. Is this a big departure?
No, coaching is teaching. And at the end of the day, we're just working hard every day and teaching these guys about the game of football and life lessons. So it doesn't matter if you're at parochial or public.
One of the things you kind of became known for at St. Joe's was that tempo offense.
Mm-hmm.
Have you installed that? Are these guys ready for it?
Oh yeah, we've installed that. We're going to be on the attack, both offensively and defensively, and these guys have done a great job transitioning to that from the wing to the offense they had run the last few years.
I'll turn to Luke now. So what kind of a transition has it been being here before and now that Coach Morangi has come in? What sort of new wrinkles are involved in the Indian Hills offense?
Yeah, so previously we ran a wing tee and kind of smash mouth, and we kind of changed our identity to kind of air raid, and now utilizing all the talent we have in different and special ways, and it's kind of refreshing because he understands the players already so well and knows what we're capable of so well that he designs plays just for specifically a couple people, and he knows what will work, and we've installed that throughout practice, and it's just knowing that we can make that big play, that difference maker is huge and crucial. It's something that we haven't had in the past.
One of the big questions whenever you go to air-oriented offense is who's going to throw you the ball?
Yeah, so we have 3 sophomore quarterbacks right now competing for a job. 1 transfer from Ramapo, and they're all doing a great job learning the offense, and they're all doing a fantastic job, throwing us the ball and getting it to us efficiently and keeping that thing moving.
Wait a second. A football player transferred from Ramapo to Indian Hills? What is this? Is this a new era here, Coach?
Yeah, you might see that in the future.
You know what? Everybody's got their own story. We'll talk about Ramapo sometime later in the day. But, for Indian Hills, I'm going to move over to Brandon now because you ended last season. I think you won, Brendan, sorry. You won 5 out of 6 to end the season, and you get all this momentum going. Has there been, any, not interruption, but what's it been like, knowing that, hey, you were ended on a really good note, and then all of a sudden a lot of changes are coming in for the following year?
A lot of kids are still adjusting to all these new changes. O-line, I play center, so I oversee pretty much the entire O-line. A lot of kids on the O-line are new. I'm the only person coming back, so it's there's small hiccups there, but everyone knows they're participating in a bigger program where we have more potential now with the new coach. So they're more willing to learn, more willing to put in all the effort that requires to become a good program. So it's great to see that. Even though they're all new, they're all trying their hardest, and it's going a long way.
Well, the one thing that folks don't like to do, especially at this point of the season, is make any wild predictions. But come on, it's the preseason. You can say, hey, we're going to be a playoff team, or maybe, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Well, not the Super Bowl, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, we're going to be competitive week in, week out. Our goal, like I said before, is to go 1-0 each week and compete each week. And, hey, you never know what could happen. But, we're going to raise our game, and, we look forward to a great season.
You guys, no bulletin board material, nothing you want to, shocking you want to say about your opponents, or they're well trained, and Dan's a good coach. So I think you're Don Bosco 97.
97. That's
Don
right.
Bergen Catholic 97.
Yeah.
So but I thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So we'll shake on it anyway. This is Dan Morangi and the Indian Hills Braves.
I'll never wear red.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm wearing blue today. Yeah. So is Indian Hills. Those are the Braves, and we'll be back with more on Super Football Conference Media Day. Right here, come out, little 55. Good. All right, we're back on Super Football Conference Media Day, back to live action, I should say. That was our interview with Indian Hills, who joined me earlier. And right now we're joined by the Ridgewood Maroons, Coach Torrey Watson and his gang of Maroons here. We got to start with the coach because you're coming off a season, and to me, I call it a weird season because it's like, Ridgewood, good as they always are, but your record technically is a game under 500. Mm-hmm. But, even in a good season or a winning season, there's always things you want to do better next year. So what's the improvement process been like, getting ready to move forward with the new Ridgewood season?
It's been great. We've had some great commitment from our senior class. Our guys are really devoted to each other. They've worked very hard in the off season. And again, we're looking to just be prepared to be competitive each week and with a very competitive schedule. So we have huge challenges week after week. So we're really excited about those coming up.
And you are a huge challenge for people, too. Let's remind everyone of that. Ridgewood's consistently one of our top 20 teams. And the reason is not just the coach, to the players, too. Let's not let them all stand there all day. So number 55 back here is J.C. Flynn, the offensive lineman and defensive lineman. Right here we've got Owen Laffey, number 27. And number 21 is Calvin Ran. Calvin Ran. That's such a great name for what position?
Running back. It's a perfect name.
Well, there you go. Running backs have always been key for Ridgewood. You're still... we called it wing T-ish teams, but there's a lot of wrinkles to it. So, what are you most excited about this year? I'm not asking you to give away the playbook, but what are you most excited about, when it comes to your offense?
Well, I'm definitely excited about sharing the ball a lot. All of our skill positions between our split ends, our tight end, and all of our running backs, we're all seniors, and we're all very skilled, all very athletic. So I'm looking to very excited at seeing everyone get their hands on the ball.
All right, now, Coach Watson, you played at Ridgewood, so you've been around the program a long time.
Right.
When you say, put some wrinkles into the wing T, again, you don't have to give away the playbook, but what sort of fun stuff do you like to allow your players to do?
Well, again, the wing T, it's a traditional offense, but there is room for expansion. Mm-hmm. So we like to be able to do those. We, of course, like Calvin said, we got a lot of nice skill players. We want to get the ball in their hands, so we want to be able to spread that around a lot. And we're not going to get away from running the ball because that's kind of what high school football is about. However, we want to do some things that will allow us to be successful, get the ball in our best players' hands, and have a little fun with it.
Yeah, and now, expectations are always high at Ridgewood, pretty much it seems for everything these days. I think I got a pretty good wrestling coach, and I cover their baseball teams. Owen, you were on the baseball team. Around school, what are the expectations like? Are they really that high for every program?
Yes. I mean, every Ridgewood sport is, always very competitive, and there's always high expectations. We're not, this year with football, we're not going to let football, slide into a sport where it's not a high expectation to win. We put that expectation on us, and we have an expectation to win.
All right, well, Tor, you mentioned the schedule and the challenges ahead. Outside of the fact that you always play good teams everywhere, since you've been in the NNJAL till now, the Super Football Conference, Ridgewood's always had a tough schedule. What are some of the other maybe challenges you'll be experiencing and things you have to overcome to get to where you want to go this year?
Well, unfortunately, the last couple of years we've kind of been bit by the injury bug, so we're very hopeful that that's not something that we deal with this year. It's not something that's greatly within our control, but I think we've done a very nice job with our strength training program this off season, and that does kind of put you in a position to possibly not experience as much injuries as we've had. So, we're hopeful to have our guys on the field each week, and again, that'll put us in the best position to be able to be competitive with those teams that we play.
Again, we thank everybody for joining us here on NorthJersey.com for SFC Media Day, sponsored by the New York Jets, and this is the one day where everybody... all that, training you do to give those good politically correct answers, it all pays off. But come on, somebody's got to have some wild prediction for Ridgewood this year. No, Colin? No? Anything?
I'd love to say we're going to be...
Oh, you got one back here? Okay, let's JC, yeah, you can use Coach Watson's microphone. What's your crazy prediction for Ridgewood this year?
We're going all the way.
Okay, I would say that might be crazy, but it's also... It's not Ridgewood. Everybody wants to go all the way, right?
That's the goal. That is the goal.
Well, we will check out Ridgewood throughout the year, and we'll see where you finish up. But we thank you all for joining us here today at MetLife Stadium. We will check in with a few other teams before we are out of here for today. I believe we're going to hear from Paramus Catholic next. Continuing, thank you for joining us. So continue watching right here on NorthJersey.com.
All right, back here at Super Football Conference Media Day, Darren Cooper joined by the fellows from Paramus Catholic, including Coach Greg Russo. Greg, how you doing, my friend?
Good to be here.
You gonna say hi to Dante?
Dante, what's up, bud?
All right. Introduce our Paladins behind us.
Sure, we got Xavier Williams, who's a running back linebacker. Malachi Goodman, offensive tackle. Crew Cologne is a quarterback. They're all senior captains.
Thank you so much. We'll get to them in a second and talk about their NCAA football prowess in just a second. But Greg, what's been your immediate takeaway from the summer and the identity that's formed at Paramus Catholic this summer?
It's been fun. This is a great group to coach. I think it's also because we're more settled in as a program. It's our third year, so the kids have been with us. We've been with them, and it's really more about football and just coming together and getting ready for the opener, which will be open up at St. Peter's. And that's been the focus. There's been no off the field anything. The kids really like each other. The coaches are really together. It's a really strong group, and I'm really excited to get going.
X, come here. Is he telling the truth? Is there a difference? Is he mellow now? Is he more mellow now?
I wouldn't say mellow.
Okay.
He definitely calmed down because I feel like we built that trust with our coach, but it definitely changed over the years. But it's getting back to where I think we should be.
X, from last year to this year, what do you think? Where do we need to execute better turn the L's into, to be a winning football team?
Just playing a full game. I mean, first quarter sometimes good, first quarter sometimes bad. First halves don't really be as consistent as we should want them to be. But I think just playing a full game is what's gonna make our record or those numbers look really much different.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, we had a lot of games where we had a lot of good moments, and we've had a lot of big comebacks and things like that, but we weren't steady enough to make it easier on ourselves. We always made it harder, which comes with like where we are as a program. I feel like this year, I think it's going to be play more consistent. He's right, and we can beat everyone on the schedule.
All right. Mr. Crew. You got to hold the mic for Mr. Crew. How much different being in the offense from last year to this year? How much better do you know, and how much good do you feel? How much better
I feel a lot better. I mean, from last year, just coming in, like it was just like a whole new, just like world for me. Right now, I mean, like I know it like the back of my hand. So it's just like it's coming along really well, and all the guys I think are understanding a lot more than they did last year.
Give me a specific example.
I would just say just lining up and getting like just everyone be in the right spot, and just like I think we're just gonna be really, really good this year.
Malachi, who's the biggest, best lineman in this building right now?
Me, of course.
Thank you very much. Malachi, who's the last college coach to talk to you?
USC.
All right, in the last 24 hours? Yeah. Malachi, is the recruiting process fun? Has it been fun, or has it started to get a little bit of a drag?
I mean, it's been fun, but it also is a little bit of a drag at the same time. It's kind of both, but I enjoy it. I'm grateful for it.
How do you use him? This is a question for Greg. You have this very elite talent together. How do you maximize his talent with your team?
I mean, in every team, like your left tackle is usually your best lineman, almost all around our league, all around football. So it's not that different than general. I mean, with him being such an elite, it gives you an ability where you know what the defenses are going to have to do. So it gives you a chess piece that like some people don't have. But like it's not crazy different than the year. You always want to be strong up front, and when you have it, like Basantis years ago, I mean, Bosco ran behind them, did it really well. I mean, it's the same type of thing. It gives you like an insurance blanket, basically.
All right, X, is he fun to run behind?
Of course.
Is he the biggest lineman you've ever seen?
One of them.
One of them? All right, Malachi, how good can y'all be?
We could be really good. I believe we could win the whole thing, for sure. Go all the way.
All right, ask Crew the same question. Crew, how good can we be?
We can be really good. I mean, we can be as good as we want to be. I mean, I think we're really special this year.
All right, Greg, it is year 3. And like, you must feel like if we're going to take the step, it's now. It's kind of now. You said this to me when I talked to you. They're all my kids now. Like, so is this team ready to take the next step?
Yeah, I think so. They look like it. I mean, you never really know until you start playing. I mean, every coach likes to say they know. You don't know.
Way too honest, Mr. Russo.
You start playing, and then you find out. But I mean, from years past and just the way we are, we're light years ahead of where we've been. Everywhere I've been prior, year 3, we won a championship. So I'm not trying to put too much pressure on these guys, but I'm going to. That's the plan, right? So I feel really good. I think the kids feel really good. And it's a tough league, but I really like our chances this year.
All right. We got one more thing before we go. Before we turn it on, we were talking NCAA college football. All right, who's your team, X?
Well,
one of many, because don't give anybody away.
I play with Ole Miss a little bit in the game.
All right. Okay, I can't ask you because people immediately will be like, oh my God, he's going there. But who do we like when we line up on offense, defense? Where do we play on defense? So tell me what position we like to be on defense.
Middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker. Crew, what about you? What's the mic like, Crew?
Well, my favorite team?
Yeah, who's your team you play?
Texas, all day. Quinn Ewers, I love just slinging around with them.
Arch Manning.
Nah, Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers. Oh, dissing Arch Manning. Gee. I got to stand up for my Louisiana guys. Greg, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
That's Paramus Catholic. I'm Darren Cooper. This is Super Football Conference Media Day on NorthJersey.com.
And we are here with the Golden Knights of Old Tappan, starting with assistant coach Brandon Gregory. Brandon, would you like to introduce the Golden Knights behind you?
Yes, to my right, I have fullback linebacker Nick Rossi. In the middle, I have wide receiver defensive back Rowan Milady. And to my far left, I have fullback linebacker wide receiver Robert Angus.
All right, so let's get right down to it. Can you talk a little bit about this year's team, how it is compared to last year and even the state championship team from 2 years ago?
Well, the teams that we traditionally have up at the school are pretty consistent year in and year out. It's pretty much a blue-collar kind of teams. The team will be able to play at a high level with Coach Dunn and the coaching staff that he always puts together. So the kids kind of know the tradition, what's expected of them. So Hopefully there will not be too much of a change, but obviously when you have seniors that graduate and the kind of seniors that we had graduate, there's always going to be a level of kids have to step up and become new leaders.
Can you talk a little bit about the offense? You have some veteran skill players back, including Nick. Can you talk about the offense and a veteran quarterback?
Well, we have a veteran quarterback in Alec Arecchio, and we have a young quarterback that's coming in as well, Zach Michelli. I'm not sure what Coach Dunn is going to do, but I'm assuming that they're going to split time at quarterback. I would assume that. I'm really not too sure. I know Nick is going to be playing a lot of running back. Rowan is going to be one of the lead receivers. Robert's going to help out us at fullback and running the ball this year. And defensively, Coach Klaus will put together another fantastic defense like he always does with the help of with assistant coach Ryan Steffner and Brendan O'Neill. So with my years of being up at the school has always traditionally just been very rock solid in what they believe in. Coach Dunn and Coach Klaus, they have what they know is going to work, and they adjust to the kids that they have each year. Because a lot of teams don't do that. They have a mindset that they want to do things a certain way. They adjust to the talent that they have, and that's why I think the tradition has been so good.
Okay, we'll step over to the kids now. First question. And I'll hit all of you with the same question, and that is, from your perspective, what has been different about this summer leading into the season compared to the last couple of seasons?
I think definitely this year we've been a lot more tight-knit of a team. So we've had a lot more team bonding events this year. We've definitely become more close than we were last year. I think that was something that our sophomore year, we were very good at. We were very close, and I felt a nice connection with the seniors. I think we're trying to build that back with our younger classmen this year.
Okay, same question, Nick, over to you. And that
so going back to what Rossi said, it's very much about being close as a team. Like, the age doesn't really matter. But obviously we are the seniors, and we need to lead everyone, and that's what we're trying to do. Because going back to that sophomore season and the success we had, that's what really separated us from all the other teams.
Okay, now to my left.
I think overall, like this summer and this off season, we've just put in a lot more work than we have in the previous years. Just more days in the gym, more days on the field, just practicing and getting ready for the season.
Okay. All right. Can we talk a little bit about your defense? We talked a little bit about the offense. Talk a little bit about the defense. What's going on there?
Defensively, we have a couple 3-year starters. Nick Rossi, obviously a 3-year starter at linebacker. Robert's going to be a 2-year starter at linebacker, and Rowan at defensive back. We have a good core nucleus of seniors that are coming back that are, like I said, 2-3-year starters. And when you have that, especially at the high school level, public school level, it's always a great advantage to the team, to any team. And that's what I find that's going to be like one of the stronger points of the team. And like I said, Coach Klaus will put together a defense, and he will put kids in the best place for them to be successful. He's great at doing that. And if you come to any of our games, I know sometimes you may see like our team may be a little undersized, but during the course of the week, if you watch the practices and what's expected and asked of them, you see it on Friday night.
Last question to everybody, and that is, again, Old Tappan, first North Jersey public school to win a state championship. The state introduced that a couple of years ago. I had the honor of covering that game, as I mentioned several times. What has to go right this season for Old Tappan to put themselves in position to get back to have a chance to win a sectional title and maybe even more?
Like any public high school, stay healthy, no major injuries, and the kids doing as they're told and what's expected of them.
All right, we'll throw it over to Nick.
I think toughness is the big thing. I've never seen in high school sports, I've never seen a tougher team lose. So I think that last year, our games that we weren't so tough, were the games that we lost. And I think that going back to our sophomore year, when we ended up winning the games that we were undersized and we were less talented, I think we were tougher than the other team.
Okay, same question.
I believe that our leadership is going to be the biggest factor in whether we're going to be able to win or not. I mean, really, in the end of the day, I feel like that's what it comes down to, toughness and leadership.
And you get the last swing here.
I also think that we just need to focus on like the day by day and like not look forward towards the next week or the week after that if like that's a big game, and just focusing on what's right ahead of you and just completing that to your best ability.
All right, so that does it. Again, I want to thank the Golden Knights of Old Tappan, assistant coach Brandon Gregory. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for being here. And now we'll kick it over to Westwood.
We're back here on Super Football Conference Media Day. Greg Tartaglia along with the Westwood Cardinals, the defending state champion Westwood Cardinals. How does that sound, Coach Bob Guy?
It sounds great, but as anyone knows in this sport, we're not worried about last year. We're worried about this year.
All right. Well, the guys are going to move ahead with once again. We sort of develop new techniques every year that we're here. This is about the 4th or 5th year the Aces are here with the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. This year we're remembering names. So number 2 is Luke Bucinich. He's right here in the middle. Number 32 over there is Aiden Dugan, the running back. And behind me is number 12, Sean Morrison, who I really, really wanted to talk to because, look, I know Coach Guy says we're moving on to next year, but you got to remember what happened at the end of that championship game against Rumson Fairhaven last year, right? Because I'm pretty sure you scored the last point.
Yeah, I did. It was a cool experience, but like Coach said, that's in the past. We're focused on Mawa and just this season coming up.
Even the guy who kicked the championship point is ready to move forward with Westwood football. Okay, so Coach Guy, you got some experience now with Westwood. Obviously, a 13-0 season. How do you build off that? How do you keep it going?
Sure. I think before I even got to Westwood, the core values of the program were already instilled. On a regular basis, we preach toughness and accountability. Those are the cornerstones of a great program. That was there before. It's we're going to fight hard to keep those principles intact.
So what are some of the things maybe you need to overcome? I'm sure, your quarterback, Karsich, graduated. A lot of guys did. You had a bunch of brothers on the team last year, too.
Sure.
So, how do you keep that maybe family atmosphere going?
Sure. So Sean Morrison has solidified the spot at quarterback. So, again, we're not asking him to be anyone he's not. He's going to be Sean Morrison, and we're gonna cater our offense to his talents. We returned 2 running backs. Aiden Dugan wanted to be behind me, being one of them, and Steve Klein, who's an excellent talent. He's a rising junior. We do have to replace some receivers and 2 offensive linemen who were twins, who are 2 tackles.
Right, the
Roberts brothers, yes. And we've had a couple guys fighting for those 2 spots.
Right. Luke, you bring some size to the team, although I should ask, what positions do you play?
Wide receiver and linebacker.
All right. So you bring some size. Linebacker, that's one of those key spots last year. You had such a good defense, What adjustments have you made to kind of get the new guys up to speed and maybe try and, keep going that really good, solid defense you had last year?
Yeah, so we've had some holes to fill at the middle linebacker spot. We lost someone at our outside linebacker spot. We also lost another senior. But, we have young guys stepping up every day. We're trying to help them be leaders and lead them to the right and be successful.
If I'm not mistaken, your coach was a linebacker in high school, right? You went to Fairlawn?
Yeah, I went to Fairlawn, yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I saw the one game where he played quarterback. We won't talk about that one, but he is a lefty, so
64-13.
You're good. Nah, I told you we weren't going to talk about it. Anyway, so I guess last thoughts for Westwood this year. As much as you want to bury the past, is there any maybe motivation you can draw? Might be a example you point to from last year, like maybe a game where you really needed to turn it around, and you can kind of use that as motivation for guys this year.
Of course, if we don't use the past as a motivator, I think that's that is definitely something that we can use. If we use it too much, I think we lose a little bit of focus on what we actually want to do. But yeah, there are definitely some prime examples of going on a playoff run or just getting to that final game, what our approach was from years prior. But again, we want to know every week, focus on the task at hand, and that's all we're going to do.
All right, well, we thank Coach Bob Guy and the Westwood Cardinals for joining us. 13-0 last year, but they're 0-0 just like everyone else this year as we continue at Super Football Conference Media Day. And we're back live at Super Football Conference Media Day. Welcome back to MetLife Stadium. Welcome in now. We go from Bergen County with Westwood. We go to Passaic County with Passaic Valley. We have Coach Max Wassel with us and 2 of his players. We've got number 77 is Tristan Puerta, and number 1 is Mark Miola. So we'll start with Coach Wassel, who's a former Passaic Valley player yourself. You played on some pretty good teams back then, and I've noticed the last couple of years, 3 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins. What do you do to keep it going, trending up this year?
Continuing to work hard and continuing to instill the culture that we've been doing and putting into these guys the past 4 years, and and having them keep each other accountable now, and not so much us having to say, push yourselves harder. It's more now them being more vocal and being those leaders that we've been searching for on the field.
Now we've had bunch of teams come in and out, and we see them all day long. Some schools bring 3, 4 guys. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What made you choose these 2 guys in particular?
Well, these 2 guys so far this offseason and summer have been the vocal leaders on the team and guys that I can count on and trust, and so that's why they're here with me.
All right, well, we're going to ask them for maybe a little scouting report on the Hornets. Tristan, you play, I would assume, on the line, yes?
Yeah, offensive line, defensive line.
So what do we expect to see from the Hornets' offensive and defensive lines this year?
I'm expecting, honestly, I'm expecting to blow some teams back, I'm expecting to set the pace, keep our running game afloat, keep our QB up,
As any good offensive line should.
Defensively, I'm expecting a lot of pressure, hopefully a lot of sacks. With some of the guys we have playing end, some of the guys we have playing tackle, we're just I feel like we're an all-around team. I don't feel like anybody stands out, but I think we're all going to be pretty good and pretty hard to block.
The best teams usually are. A, hard to block, and B, everybody wants to have a superstar, but I've seen teams be really good where everybody just kind of works together. Is that, it's a philosophy you're comfortable with, I would assume?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having a team that all plays together and as one unit is where you want to be. I mean, you can have, I've had teams in the past that you have 4 or 5 guys that are, your standout guys, but it's all about those guys not bringing everybody else up with them. You know what I mean?
All right, now we have to talk to Mark Miola. So, Mark, let us know what position do you play, and give us maybe a little scouting report for your particular position group.
This year, I'm going to go for tight end and strong safety.
Okay. Yeah, good. So tight ends, and I guess that would kind of go with offensive line, but I'll ask you this, who's throwing you the ball?
I mean, right now we're in a duel for a quarterback. 2 good quarterbacks, so I'm happy with both of them, whoever wins out, right?
Very, very, very good media day answer. And defensively, you're in the secondary. Who's playing alongside you?
Actually, we don't know. We just lost our other safety from last year.
Oh, wow.
So
injury?
No.
Oh,
it's a senior.
Graduated. Yeah, of course.
So we have to fill that spot. We got to fill a couple more spots on defense, but other than that, we should be pretty good.
Well, when I talked to Mark earlier, his last name jumped out at me, Miola. That's, feel like that's a soccer name. We're here at the Meadowlands. Tony Miola played some games, but you said that name's familiar to you?
Yeah, my dad's cousin.
So there you go. You never know who you're going to see and who you're going to meet here at Super Football Conference Media Day. We do want to thank the Passaic Valley Hornets coach Max Wassel, Mark Miola, and Tristan Puerta for joining us. We're going to keep going. We're going to go to an interview that we saw a little bit earlier on in the day, and we thank you for joining us, and keep watching this. Keep it right here on NorthJersey.com. So more here from SFC Media Day. Greg Tartaglia now along with the Eastside Ghosts, Coach James Magazine. And we mentioned this year that they're putting up the names of the players. So we also want to make sure we pronounce everybody correctly. Jocelyn McClellan is number 3 here. And in the middle we have Justin Kimutai. And Jared Edwards, it was kind of easy. So do love me a softball. I'll toss you a softball. Where's Eastside at in this preseason, and how are things going?
I've been working extremely hard. We have about 70 kids active every day in practice. We look to be very competitive this year. We're going to pick it up from last season.
Yeah, so last season you finished with a losing record. Not that it was a bad season, but you had been stacking together those winning records. What's going to get you through the downturn and back to where you want to be?
Being more physical. We're definitely going to be more physical this year up front.
All right, well, I got to assume that Justin Kimutai, you're going to be one of those physical guys up front. What have you been talking about? What's maybe the talk around the team been in the preseason about how you want to get more tougher this year?
Well, basically, we just been trying to work hard throughout practice so it can be easy during the games. So it's just all like a mindset kind of thing. If you go in knowing you're a dog, you're going to be a dog in the game. Mm-hmm. Just go in with that mindset and you should have nothing to worry about.
I'm going to talk to Giselle McClellan. Giselle, what position you play?
I play a hybrid on defense. I'm sort of a strong safety linebacker, and on offense, I'm a wide receiver.
Okay. Well, if you're a wide receiver, number one question, who's going to be throwing you the ball this year?
My junior quarterback, David Gonzalez.
Okay. How has he looked in the preseason, and what does it take to maybe get a new guy acclimated? Because I think your starter graduated.
Yeah, he graduated, but our new junior quarterback, he's really stepping up, growing into what type of quarterback we want him to be, and he's going to be a great asset to the team this year and the next.
So you always bring the seniors and the leaders. Who are maybe some of the other assets on the team this year, Coach Magazine, that we want to keep an eye out for?
Return to All County, return guys, Jamar Reynolds, Robinson, he'll be back as well. Like I said, Jared Edwards, these guys, he's a 4-year starter as well. Justice is a 3-year starter, and Giselle has played a lot, helping out the program. This year, we have 16 seniors, so I've never had double digits in seniors, so we look to have a lot of leadership this year.
All right, so, the expectation, everybody says, the championship's the ultimate goal, leagues and all championships and those type of things. Where do you set the most realistic expectations for Eastside this year?
Most realistic goal is to make the playoffs and then roll the dice once we get there.
Okay. And you've made the playoffs before. In fact, they see the last couple of years they've had the regional invitational tournaments or whatever. I think you played Elizabeth last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What'd you take out of that? What'd you learn from it?
This is up and down. Your kids kind of are down when they don't make the actual playoffs, but it's an opportunity to give our seniors some more film and to build for the next season.
All right, you guys ready to roll? Yeah. All right, that's the Eastside Ghosts. Thank Coach James Magazine and the guys for joining us, and we'll be back with more from SFC Media Day right here at MetLife Stadium.
And we're back, and we're here with the Spartans at Paramus High School, starting with veteran coach Joe Sabella. Joe, can you be kind enough to introduce the Spartans you brought here today?
Sure. On my right is our offensive linebacker Giuseppe Monteleone. Behind me is our quarterback, defensive end, Cormac O'Hara. And behind, to his left, is our linebacker, tight end, Liam Jones, all seniors.
Okay, all right. Let's start off with the first question, and that is, tell us a little bit about your team, veteran team, young team. Talk about it.
We're a little bit of a mix. All these guys behind me are experienced varsity players. We bring back 6 guys on the offensive side of the ball. We lose all 5 of our offensive linemen, and that will be, the main focus point of our rebuilding season, is to make sure that those guys are ready for first time starting on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, we look strong. We bring back our linebackers and 3 of our secondary. But again, for us, the success of our season will be based, about how far our line grows and how fast they can catch up to the speed of our league and our conference.
And how has it gone so far in the preseason with putting together a new offensive line then?
The kids have worked extremely hard, and for me as a coach, that's what we look for. We work throughout the winter and the spring. The kids' attendance has been, phenomenal. They've worked hard over the summer, not only in the weight room but in the classroom, going over our plays and our, what we do as an offense and a defense. So, as far as the work ethic and what they do, outside of football, they've really put in the time, to succeed.
All right, you're going to hand it over to Giuseppe. We'll start off with him, and that is, what have you seen that is different about this year's preseason, summer season, compared to the last couple of years?
We've had really good leadership the last 2 years. Very good. We love the seniors, but this year it feels a little different. All of us have been playing for a while and together. We really trust each other, and we care for each other, so we're playing hard for one another, and it's translating on the field. I think we're making really good progress. I think we're doing really good, especially on the line. We worked really hard all off-season together, going to Applebee's, off the field and on the field. It's all business, and it's been going well. So,
now, I've heard a lot of people talking about today, team building and team bonding in these interviews, more so than in years past. So, Cormac, I'm going to hand it over to you with the question. Talk about team building, team bonding with your offensive line.
I've been playing with a lot of those kids in multiple sports, not just football, but they are pretty young, pretty new to varsity, so we did do some team bonding. We went to a lake. We go out to eat all the time, I love the boys. I mean, they're very good, offensive line, but, they're young, but they're learning very quick, and they're doing very good, so.
All right, and Liam, same question over to you, and that is, talk about team bonding and, what is unique about this preseason compared to last year, for instance?
We did a lot of bonding in the weight room over the winter, getting bigger, trying to build the lineup. And I'm sorry, what was the other question?
The other question was compared to last year, what's been different or unique?
All of us became we're kind of turning into leaders now, because we had leadership the past 2 years. It's our turn to step up and become leaders. That's probably the biggest change so far that I've noticed.
Okay. Joe, next question. That is, over the last several years that you've been the coach, you've always been able, or almost always been able, to build a good quarterback, running backs, receivers. Can you talk about why you're able to do that? And then you often the challenge has been in the area of putting together an offensive line?
I think it's a credit to the coaching staff. We put a lot into this. We spend a lot of hours away from our families to build our football team and our football program. And, we work very hard. And, we do that because we love the game and we love coaching kids. And these kids, they've been great. The payoff is what the reward is about, seeing them grow, seeing them one day maybe playing at the next level, the next opportunity. And not only that, we hope that, they take the next step in their life, whether that's college or whether that's in the work field. They just become better men when they graduate from high school.
Okay, and this will be a last question for everybody, not just Joe, but what, if any, is a reasonable expectation for this group? I always got to nail people down on that.
I understand. We don't look too far ahead. We want to be better tomorrow than we were today. It will start with the Week 0 game against West Milford. That's what we, put our focus on. But, first and foremost, it's getting better in practice every day.
And Giuseppe, what has to go right on the field for Paramus to have an improved season, to have a good season?
We got to keep up the physicality. Last year we were really physical, not just on the O-line, but our quarterback, our running backs, our wide receivers when blocking. We got to keep that level consistent, whether it's on defense, hitting people, offensive, moving people, and that's the biggest thing.
All right, Cormac, same question over to you.
Yeah, I agree with Giuseppe. We need to be physical. All the teams in our conference are very physical. We just got to keep up with them, which we will, and just match their physicality because we have a lot of talent on the team.
Liam, we're going to give you the last word, always to my left, and that is what has to go right for your team to be successful this season, to have a shot at a winning season?
We've been saying it all year. We have to be able to stop the run and run the ball. That's our biggest thing. That's our main focus.
All right, again, that pretty much does it. These have been the Spartans of Paramus High School. Coach Joe Sabella, thank you to you and your team for stopping by here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we're now huddled up here at SFC Media Day with Wayne Hills, Coach Wayne Demikoff, and has some of his players with him. Greg Tartaglia back for another interview, and spoken to you the past couple of years about state of the program, actually. And one of the years I remember talking about how you take the team out on the road every year. So where's this year's opening road trip going?
So this year we're going to Henderson, Nevada, which is right outside Las Vegas, to play Green Valley High School. So we're excited about it.
Green Valley, not Wayne Valley.
No, Green Valley.
Do you still play Wayne Valley at all?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You gotta love rivalry. So we have with us here number 71 is Darian Kim. Number 11 is Aaron Viray, right behind me. And over there is number 63, Chris Romano. I'm going to start with Darian just because you're right here. What are these trips like, especially so early in the season when you're kind of forming those bonds with your teammates?
I mean, they're really fun. It's also a great way to set the tone for our season in a different and sometimes challenging environments, especially here in Vegas. And we're constantly being reminded about how the heat in Vegas, and we're just working hard in practice to maintain our.
He's already ready for week one. We're actually here at MetLife Stadium, but yeah, no, he's ready for Vegas. So now we got to get to the tough ones because the last couple years for Wayne Hills, not the records you wanted, not the results you wanted. Does it seem like you're back on the upswing? And what's it going to take to change, get back to where you want to be?
Well, we hope so. I mean, the kids have worked hard to this point. And what we're most excited about, two things really. We're bringing back a lot of kids with experience. Mm-hmm. One of the things about being young as we've been, is you go through some growing pains, but it's always better the next year. So we're happy about that. And the thing we're most happy about is being able to have competitive practices. The last few years, we didn't have the depth to allow us to do that. So the speed at practice, the interactions at practice can be much better, and we think that's going to prepare us much better for games.
All right, we're going to turn to Aaron Viray. What do you say about these practices and the way things have been going with this? Does it feel like there's more juice, more competition?
Oh yeah, definitely way more juice, way more competition. In practice, going against the younger DBs, they're trying to get better. They're trying to beat me. They're trying to do all the things right and just get ready for the season and earn starting jobs eventually.
Okay. Now the expectations for Wayne Hills. I've been here a long time. We know year after year, the win streak and all the good things about Wayne Hills' history. It was kind of like that championship was the expectation every year. Obviously, you still want to win a championship, but what are the expectations maybe for this year to move toward that goal?
Listen, we always set that as the bar. Like we want to win a championship every year. And I think when you do that, it raises the bar for your practices, for your kids. So we're going to go for that every year. And I think, with the group that we have coming in this year, I think they understand that. They understand the history of Wayne Hills, and they want to live up to what's on their chest. And I think from the older kids to the younger kids, we've seen that every day, from the way they started in the weight room to how they brought it out to the field. It's transitioned nicely, and we're excited.
That's Wayne Demikoff, and this is Wayne Hills. And yeah, like I said, I've been seeing you guys for a while. I think I started out when Greg Olson was still a player. Do you have any current guys who might be, NFL analysts one day?
We'll see. We have some guys that can talk pretty well.
Okay,
so we'll
good.
see. Absolutely.
Good. Well, we thank the guys for talking today, and we thank Coach Demikoff for joining us as we roll on here at 2024 SFC Media Day at MetLife Stadium. Back live at Super Football Conference Media Day here at MetLife Stadium. Proceedings starting to wind down, but we talked to quite a number of teams today here with the Varsity Aces, so we want to thank them for joining us. We also want to thank you, our viewer, for joining us on NorthJersey.com. We continue on with some of the teams we talked to earlier. Let's hear now from Northern Highlands.
Welcome back to Super Football Conference Media Day here at MetLife Stadium. I'm Darren Cooper, joined now by a team we might rank kind of high entering the year. It's Ramapo. Oh, wait, it's not Ramapo. Thank you for Dave Cord and the Northern Highlands Highlanders. Dave, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm good, Dave. Introduce these guys behind you.
Yeah, behind me I got number 5, Matt Boydell, number 6, Jesse DeNoble, and our quarterback, number 2, Nate Johnson.
The quarterback, Nate Johnson? Yep. The quarterback, Nate Johnson? Mm-hmm. Nate, how you been?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Tell me about your development, what you did over the summer to become a better quarterback.
I mean, a mix of everything: speed work, lifting, throwing, just becoming bigger, faster, stronger, better athlete, better thrower.
How often do you think about the last play of the season? No offense, sorry, Dave.
All the time. I mean, it was our last game, last big play.
Anything you could have done differently?
I mean, at this point, I'm not really going to think too much about the past, just look forward to this season.
Ooh, you trained him well, Dave. Good job. Dave, what identity has manifested itself in this team so far?
Yeah, listen, a bunch of people have asked me about this team. When I think when we have talented kids that work hard, that's a good recipe, and that's certainly what we have with these 3 behind us, and they do a good job of modeling that and demanding that out of the rest of our guys. I think really the last piece of the puzzle is, all right, we got talent, we got kids that want to work hard. Now how much you want to be a team? How much are you willing to sacrifice for the person that's standing next to you, and how much are you willing to work through adversity that we know is going to come this season? And that really remains to be said.
All right. He told me a great story preseason when we talked a couple weeks ago. Something about having a minute to line up in alphabetical order. Yeah. Is this a true story?
This is a true story.
Okay,
yes.
Tell me what happened.
So we were all lined up for conditioning, and we all had to do our birthdays like in numerical order. So
October 1st and October 20th. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Without speaking.
Without speaking. So yeah, we messed that up a couple of times. We eventually got it, and it was good. And then once we got it, we ended conditioning, and
All right. Explain to us, Dave, though, because I love this. I put it in the story. What you were trying to accomplish with that.
Yeah, listen, we lost 3 games last year. We lost to Tappan, lost twice to Rampo, and in both Rampo games, we had multiple score leads at halftime. We were up 21 in the regular season and 10 in the sectional championship, and I thought we had chances to win both those games in the second half, and we just didn't come through, and I don't know why. Listen, these guys know it. The first person I look at after we lose is me, and what can we change? So when you lose 2 games like that, how can we change the way we practice? How can we better prepare kids to make really tough decisions, really snap decisions, really tough physical plays when the pressure's most? So we just tried some different things to manufacture pressure, manufacture communication in a way that they haven't done it before. Is that going to be the winning recipe that changes things? No, it's ultimately going to be how hard they work. But we're trying to put them.
Where did you get that idea though for the birthdays?
I don't know. That one I don't know where it came from. But it's just about my thing was about how can these guys communicate under pressure when tired in a fashion they haven't done it before.
All right. How motivated are you going into the season?
Very motivated. We have multiple guys who played as sophomores, made it to the state championship that year.
Lost a very close one to a really good team. Made it to the sectional championship last year, so this year we're really motivated. We're all in on this, and we want to bring it home.
You know, you made a great point about playing close, even 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Irvington, right? It was Irvington 18-14. No.
It was Millville.
Millville.
Yep.
Can playing in close games, like, eventually, does that give you a reservoir to draw from? Like, yeah, 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Yeah. We need a score. We need to stop.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely helped us with experience. We know what it feels like to be in big games. We know what it takes to need to win, and I think we can get that done this year.
All right, Dave, we won't embarrass Nate too much, but you are blessed to have someone with that kind of skill level behind center.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I don't know anything really different other than the last 2 years we had two great quarterbacks with J.R. Wally, who came in when Nate was hurt a couple times sophomore. So I don't know anything different. We're absolutely blessed. You know, I call him, I think I said it to you when we talked the other day, right? I call him the lax bro in the best way possible, right? Like, he is cool, calm, and collective. The rare mistakes that he makes, they're brushed aside, and he's ready to deliver on the next one. So, it's gonna. We are certainly blessed, and we add to his plate because of what he gives us, especially mentally. Right? You guys all see the physical stuff, but you guys don't see the pre-snap and post-snap decisions that he makes basically on an every play basis. So we're able to do more as a staff when you have somebody like him making the decisions.
All right, Nate. Update real quick. College.
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet.
Yeah.
But you're getting some attention. You've got some ideas. What kind of school do you think you want to go to?
I'd say high academic. Somewhere I can't get in without football, really. Somewhere I can use football to.
All right. Well, Dave, you know what we got to do here to end the interview, right? All right, guys, y'all have to line up in order by birthdays right now. You got 15 seconds. All right, let's see if they got it right. Nate, when's your birthday?
March 2nd. June 1st. June 8th.
Good job. It worked, Dave. It worked.
I taught him something.
Well, that's a first here. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
To see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Darren.
You're watching Super Football Conference Media Day here on NorthJersey.com.
Thanks again to Northern Highlands and Coach Dave Court for joining Darren Cooper. All Varsity Aces here for Super Football Conference Media Day, and it is hosted by the Jets, so can't leave without seeing at least one more green team. Earlier on today, Greg Matura caught up with the DePaul Spartans.
Hello, everyone. We're here with the DePaul Spartans, starting with Coach Nick Campanile. Nick, if you want to introduce who's here with you today at Media Day.
Sure. Thanks, Greg. We'll just go from left to right here. This is on our left is Anthony Natoli. He's a senior returning captain for us. Plays outside linebacker. Next to him is Nolan James, a senior returning starting running back for us. In the middle there is Deshaun Stewart, who's a defensive back. Next to him is Michael Troutman, offensive and defensive lineman for us. And Des Jones is a wide receiver who's been a 4-year starter for us.
All right, let's get right into it.
Absolutely.
DePaul, a perennial state title contender. What do you have this year? Veteran team? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, this is clearly the most experienced team we've had in a long time, and I think the most talented team we've had in a long time. So I'm really excited about it. We've got great leadership. We have a big senior class. Obviously, these guys standing behind me are some high-level recruits, but to me, they're just great high school football players and great people, and that's the thing I'm most proud of.
And what's a little unique about this year's team compared to the last couple of teams that you've had?
That's a good question. I think the senior leadership thing is very unique for us. But I think the level of high-level college recruits that we have this year is definitely unique. I don't think many teams get that. We're very lucky. Standing to my right is Des Jones. He's committed to Ohio State for next year. Michael Troutman is committed to Penn State. Deshaun Stewart's committed to Ohio State, and Nolan's committed to Boston College. So it's very rare that you get that level of commitments. And Anthony is a tremendous student. He's getting recruited by some of the best academic schools in the country. He hasn't made a decision yet, but Johns Hopkins and give me a couple others. What's that? University of Chicago just got offered by them. I mean, some unbelievable academic schools.
I could feel the energy. I feel like I have to step up my game during this interview. And we'll start with Des. Des, from your perspective, what is unique as you see it for this team, and what kind of expectations, if any, do you have for this team?
I say what's unique about this year's team. I say the brotherhood.
Our culture is improving a lot as we go, and our practice effort is just it's getting way more better as we go.
All right, you want to hand the mic over? Your area, 2 sides of the ball you play.
Yes, sir.
What's in areas? Don't call me sir. It makes me feel old. What kind of expectations do you have for the line play for the Spartans this season?
I feel like as a unit on both sides of the ball, I feel like we've improved tremendously every day. I feel like I expect us to be dominant on either side of the ball. I feel like we work too hard and we put in too much effort to not be great.
Okay, and now I'm going to hand mine over. Same question to all 3 of you, and that is, you have gotten to state championships the last couple of years. What do you have to do a little bit differently this year to be able to finish the final game as a champion?
We just have to not get too comfortable when we got the lead or we got an edge on the team. We got to finish through the whistle, through to the clock say 0-0, and just keep our foot on their necks, man.
All right, over to Nolan. Same question over to you. What do you guys have to do a little bit better this season to not only get back to a state final again, but to finish on the positive side?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just finishing games and playing as a team. But I think if we play as a team, we'll be better at finishing games. I think we finish games and start off strong will be good.
Okay, and I'm handing it over here to Mr. Homework. Anthony, I hear Johns Hopkins. My ears perk up. Your thoughts? What's unique about this team, and what do you have to do a little bit better of to make it to not only the championship game, but to win it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just staying consistent throughout the whole season. I mean, I think we showed spots last year how great we could be, but I think that we also showed spots where we didn't play to our best. So I think staying consistent throughout the whole season is really going to help us be able to finish the job this year.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Nick, back to you, and that is you have a lot of returning skill position players. Could you talk about having all that experience? You have a quarterback who's in his 3rd year again.
Yeah.
Dez has been a starter forever, and and Nolan also.
Yep.
We saw what he did, especially in the season opener last year that I covered. I think it was the opener.
Yeah.
What can we look forward to for your offense?
Yeah, it should be an exciting group. I think we should be pretty explosive. That's one of our goals, to be one of the most explosive teams in New Jersey. And so far, it looks great. These guys have a tremendous amount of experience. But I guess the thing I'm most proud of with them is how selfless they are. Like you said, we have a number of great skill players, but there's only one football. And to me, I kind of judge how great a player you are by what you do when the ball's not in your hands. And these guys are as good of players when the ball's not in their hands as they are when the ball's in their hands.
And last question, we know about your offense. We know you're going to put points up on the board. You're going to keep me running up and down the sideline, writing down touchdowns. Your defense, talk about your defense. What has to go right?
Yeah.
What's a strength, and what do you need to do better?
I'm really excited about the way we're playing defense. Coach Rashid Darasol is our defensive coordinator. He's done an unbelievable job the last few years, and he's got a more experienced unit and a great staff to work with this year. And we've had a couple guys really step up. Anthony's been our leading tackler the last 2 years, and he'll be a 3-year starter. We have a young man by the name of Logan Nagel playing defensive end for us. That's a great player. Deshaun, obviously, is an unbelievable player as well. And we're just loaded with talent on that side. And the most important thing is we have a lot of experience, too. We have a lot of guys who have played a lot of football.
All right. That covers it. Again, the DePaul Spartans with Coach Nick Campanile and co. Gentlemen, thank you very much so much for being here.
Pleasure. Thanks, Greg.
And those are the DePaul Spartans. We certainly have a lot of good parochial, non-public these days, teams in North Jersey. Let's go to another one. In fact, another Greg Matura interview. He had a chance to sit down with Don Bosco Prep.
And we are here with the Ironmen of Don Bosco. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And if we're going coach-free on this one, but if you want to introduce yourselves, your year and positions.
Dante DeLuca, 2026, and I'm a running back.
Kyle Ramos, middle linebacker, class of 2025.
Hunter Dutrano, class 2025, tight end.
Okay, all right, let's get right into it. How has this preseason gone compared to last year? We'll start with you, Dante, and what kind of expectations, if any, do you have for this coming season?
Our off-season has been going really well so far. We've been working on bonding with each other, being more of a team. I think that was our problem in the past couple of years, but we definitely have been getting closer, and we've been working on it. We did a retreat in the summer, which helped us. We got to know each other more, and like we're just focusing on winning and playing together as a team. And obviously, we want to win the state championship.
All right, Kyle, same question over to you. What has been unique about this summer? What's unique about this group of players this season?
Definitely how we've got much closer as a team, but also like overcoming challenges. Not a big challenge, but we practice real early in the morning, so being able to get up early, go to practice. We've been conditioning at the start of practice too, so you got to be in the right mental state to be able to run first in practice, then go and have a hard practice and do all your assignments. So I think overcoming challenges and overcoming adversity is a big one.
All right, Hunter, same question over to you. What's been unique about this preseason so far, and what kind of expectations for the team?
What's been unique is definitely the buy-in by everyone across the board. Every year, everyone says like, "Let's win a state championship." That's what we want to do. But this year, you can just feel it in the air. Like we have a different sense of hunger. Like we really want it this year.
All right, so far so good. Dante, we'll start the next round of questioning with you, and that is your running back. You have your quarterback back in Devin Sisler. Talk a little bit about the offense and what's a little bit different or what's the same compared to last season.
I mean, we changed a few things up from last year, but I think it's definitely working. A few plays we switched, like it's a little bit different scheme, but I think it's definitely paying off. I think we're finally, like a lot of people from last year are coming back, and we're definitely like settling in, like building chemistry that we like didn't really have last year, and it's gonna like pay off towards the end of the season because like we're focusing on playing for each other, like I said before, but the offense has definitely gotten way closer, and I think it's going to pay off.
All right, Hunter, we're going to stick with you since you're on the offensive side of the ball. If you want to talk about, from your perspective, the changes that have gone on with the offense. I keep handing the ball off before I'm done running with it. Thank you. Talk about the offense.
I mean, changes. We have a new OC, Coach High. He's from South Jersey. Worked at Rutgers, worked with the Chicago Bears, and he's really brought great things in. And like I think beyond just the schemes and the X's and O's, like we just play with a different sense of confidence this year. Like who cares if you make a mistake? Just line up and like play hard, play for each other.
All right, now we'll switch over to the defense. Kyle, linebacker, talk about what's unique about the defense. Is it a veteran defense or a lot of new faces? Tell us about it.
It's much more new faces. We got a lot of young guys on the ball. We got a ton of athletes, though. We got young sophomores coming in the D-line, big guys. They know how to stuff the hole. They know how to fill the gaps up really well. On the back end, we got a ton of young DBs. Mekhi Allen, big freshman guy who's going to come up to his sophomore year with a little experience under his belt. Phoenix Evans is a corner, really athletic, really good. Our new transfer, Stretch Dorillis, he's really good too, really athletic. So we got a bunch of athletes on the ball and just ready to play.
All right, and then last question to everybody, and we'll stick with you, Kyle, since you have the microphone. You're at a program that won a couple of mythical national championships that really got the ball started as far as going out to other parts of the country and playing national powerhouses and representing New Jersey, and then a lot of other schools, especially in North Jersey, followed suit. I'm sure you've heard about that growing up. Coming off of a 5-6 season, how does that feel? Does that motivate you? And again, you're all three going to answer this question. Does that motivate you even more to get back on the winning side and to get back to a state final where Bosco also often finds itself every season?
Yeah, it's a huge motivation. In the school, all around, there's all the trophies and all the state championships, national championships, all the banners everywhere. You look around, you really want to be a part of it. You want to have your year on that wall. So it's like a big motivation to just come back better than last year and just be ready to go.
All right, Dante, over to you. Same question. The reputation and how that motivates you, if at all.
What Kyle said, pretty much like that. I'm going to say last year we obviously weren't happy with our performance. 5-6 does not define how of a team we were last year, but I think this year we're definitely remembering that season, a few games from it, and we're definitely using it as a lot of motivation for our upcoming season.
And again, Hunter, and this time I won't pitch you the ball before I'm finished talking. Again, the same question, that is the reputation of your program, winning 2 mythical national championships in the last 15 to 18 years. How does that motivate you, if at all, coming off of a 5-6 season?
Reputation definitely motivates me. I feel like there's a period of time over the past 5, 6, 7 years where there's a bit of complacency, and complacency is the killer of all dreams. So I think we've really just been motivated extra this year, really to get back to that reputation and enter names into history books.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so very much for being my guests and being our guests. These were the Ironmen of Don Bosco. Thanks so very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So Don Bosco Don Bosco Prep gearing up for another year. I think Don Bosco Prep closed maybe 20 plus years ago, but Passaic Tech is still quite open and they're still quite good at football. Let's catch up with the Bulldogs next.
All right, joining me now, the head coach and the players from the two-time Group 5 finalist, Matt Demarest. Matt, how you doing today?
All right, Darren.
Guys from Passaic Tech, how are you guys doing today? All right, I'm going to start right away with my first question. The motivation from losing in 2 state finals. Talk to me.
Well, back-to-back years we've lost both state finals, so
to a really good team. A really good team.
And we are a good team also, but going into this year, our mentality, we just gotta keep fighting for what we want. Day in, day out, everyday work, and we're gonna take one game at a time, and this year it's gonna be exciting. So I'm pretty excited for this year.
All right, Matt, how different does this team look from the last 2 years?
Completely. It's good. It's a good thing. Change is always good. It's good because it keeps people fresh, and to see the young kids that are excited, like you see the excitement in their eyes. There are opportunities here. So last year they knew they were going to be behind some really talented players. Now you can see the spark in a lot of them. They want to show what they can do.
Is it fun, too, then, Coach, to have like a different set of
100%.
pieces to kind of arrange on the board?
I think a lot of people, we get into coaching because we love the strategy and whatever, but we love the different personalities. This is a different personality team, different group of guys. It's exciting. I'm totally miss that other group, great humans, but this group of guys is tremendous as well, and we're excited to see who steps up.
All right, so what's the identity you've seen from the Bulldogs so far?
The identity I've seen from the Bulldogs so far, I've seen a lot of great things, actually. A lot of hard work, dedication, motivation, a lot of brotherhood.
What's different about this year than last year, then?
What's different? The difference, I would say, is most definitely the motivation, because we lost a lot of big factors in our team last year, but nothing that we can't step up to.
All right, flip side. Fun! Are we having any fun? What are we doing to keep things light and fun?
Plenty of fun. Weight room, we keep it interesting, make it competitive, see who's stronger. It's all fun and games. On the field, everything's all competitiveness. It helps us drive each other, get us better. Iron sharpens iron. That's how we make it fun.
Does the competitiveness in the weight room and the practice field translate over to the games?
Definitely. Helps us get strong, helps us get faster, helps us get better in any aspect of the game. It all prepares us for the game.
All right, Coach. Who do you think? Who else is good? Who do you look at your schedule and think, oh, they're good. We got to worry about them. Oh, they're going to be good. What do you start? What do you?
I mean, the entire schedule is deep, and the reason why I say that is, the familiarity with friends.
Sure.
But obviously, when you look at it, West Orange has a tremendous amount of talent. Irvington, you look at Irvington, who's produced more Power 5 kids over the last half dozen years than them. Ramapo from a
I know they put that game on the schedule. That's a fun one. When's the last time you played Ramapo?
Yep, so there, and then Ridgewood is them, and Clifton's going to have that bounce back year, and I know I'm going to miss something, but every game, the first game with Lenape, they have a new head coach, and they've been a perennial power down in South Jersey in Group 5. So that's an exciting one, North and South. So, I think that every game has its own little chess piece to it. And, I think we're excited just to see the differences. A lot of different teams, Darren. Some are power football, some are spread, some no huddle. So you have to be prepared for everything.
All right, Coach. Before we go, introduce our 3 guys.
Abraham Ballesteros, O-line and D-line.
Aaron Mendoza, D-line and running back.
Rainier Ramirez, tight end, H-back.
All right. Who's winning Group 5, boys?
PCTI Bulldogs, man.
All right. There you go. I'm Darren Cooper. That's Matt Demarest with Passaic County Tech here at Media Day. And this is NorthJersey.com.
Back live to wrap things up from SFC Media Day here at Super Football Conference, of course, and we thank the New York Jets for hosting. We thank Darren Cooper, who just did that last interview. Had to skedaddle a little early today, but we also thank Passaic Tech and a host of teams that joined us today. It seemed like we had more teams this year. Greg and Greg going to close it out. So, Greg Matura, we seemed like we had a lot more teams this year. What were your overall impressions of the day?
My overall impressions of the day, again, is that the Super Football Conference is the largest football-only conference in the United States. and this is big time. They're so big that we have a media day every year for the last 9 years. We're at a big time NFL media here at MetLife Stadium, home of the Jets and the Giants. This is big time. North Jersey football is big time, and I'm so proud to be a part of it, and it's great to see all these teams, coaches, and players coming in here to represent.
We do like seeing the teams and coaches, but interesting thing happened this year. Usually middle of the day they'll have a speaker come in, and it's usually one of the former players or one of the former Jets. This year it was Jets Director of Pro Personnel Greg Nedjma. Some of you might remember that name. He was a former quarterback at Midland Park High School, very good quarterback there, and now he works for the New York Jets. And I think one of my the things that hit me today were that Greg Nedjma, I used to be my first job in media was the cameraman for Midland Park Junior Football, and Greg Nedjma, I remember him playing as a little kid. You haven't had any experiences like that today, have you? I think maybe with Paramus?
I have. Invariably every year, I always ask kids if their parents, specifically if their dad played high school football. Found a couple of more kids whose parents played high school football over 30 years ago. So, of course, I want to tease them, and I told those kids to go home and make fun of their parents about that.
Well, and make fun of how old we are, too. I've been doing it for a long time. So is Greg, but we thank you for joining us. That's one of the reasons you trust the Varsity Aces. We've been around, we know our stuff, and we'd like to thank you for joining us today on NorthJersey.com. Final thanks have to go to our camera crew, to Miguel and to Paul and to Mike, the fellows working behind the camera. Couldn't do it without them. We thank you all for tuning in. For Greg Matura and for Darren Cooper, I'm Greg Tartaglia. We'll see you soon again. The Varsity Aces on NorthJersey.com.